thought I'd answer your questions here versus like a 10-page long email. So here we go. And first of all, I want to say that I'm super pumped about your questions because, man, I bet you're not the only person wondering about those questions. So I want to talk through it kind of step by step so that you feel clear, and I'm happy to answer any other questions that may come up. So for automations, it's not about cutting corners. This is about streamlining your time so that you can share with others your expertise. And your expertise was not developed overnight. I bet you have been building this for years. And therefore, I'm very conscientious of who you are, your authority. And the other piece is that as a therapist myself, I know your concerns. I fully recognize because it happens to all of us, right? Like, will this visibility hurt my reputation? Will the board have something to say about it? I have been down the road of working with coaches before, or these marketing gurus. And anyway, they will not fully understand the profession. They don't understand the ethics or what we can and can't say as therapists. So this is not intended to replace your voice. It's not intended to replace you. It's intended to be an extension of your voice, and it's going to speak directly to your audience's pain points. For example, lawyers, their pain point is that they need someone to do assessments, and they may need someone to do assessments quickly. And so you're going to be speaking to that. Basically, what we're looking at is maintaining your professional authority across all of the posts. And one of your other things may be like, is this going to be noisy? And in my opinion, no, because from what I've seen and heard, experienced, all the things, when you post something, it's a very, very minimal percentage of your audience sees it. And then on top of that, will even click to read the post. So it's like 3%, and that's of your audience, So we're going to strategically make these posts like once a day, or if you feel more comfortable doing 3 times a week, that's okay too. All of that can be programmed. That's the great thing about this automation that you won't find anywhere else, is that my team and I are on the back end personally optimizing this so that it meets your unique needs and your preferences. What I would recommend, like starting out, is just seeing what hits, like in that first 30 days or the first week, because like maybe it is a Sunday at 1:00 when more attorneys are looking on LinkedIn, or maybe it's Thursday afternoons at 4:00. So some of that we can kind of tease out and just look for the optimization there. But essentially, it's more about being consistent. So with the content you're putting out there, we are going to build up your knowledge base. And I say knowledge base because that's what's happening on the back end, so that the content writer, like the AI part, knows who you are and what to say. And then as therapists and working with my other clients who are using the RosieBot, I have programmed it to say, pay attention to the brand voice, make sure you are in alignment with the brand voice. So there's a lot of those safeguards there. And when it comes to the content pillars, I was so guilty of just doing educational content all the time, and that didn't drive any leads. So now if we add in story-based content or results-oriented content or authority-building content, like that creates more of this dynamic interaction or vibe that the audience gets with you. The other thing about RosieBot that is fantastic and is something that I couldn't even do on my own is that it is tracking and syncing up where you are in your sales process. Okay, so in marketing terms, and this is something, we don't learn in grad school, there's what's called the funnel. Maybe you've heard of it, but it's like, you go from top, middle, bottom, and at the bottom is where people buy. But the top is where people are aware of you. Middle is like they're in that contemplative stage, talking about stages of change. And then bottom is when they're ready to buy. When it comes to that sequence, right now, the default I have set up is that every 10 days, you are asking for that call to action for them to buy from you. And I know that as therapists, we cannot recruit people to buy from us. We just need to create this welcoming process so that they feel comfortable buying. So big difference than what all these other marketing people do, or maybe even coaches do. You know what I mean? For that, just example wise, the top of funnel is like maybe an inspirational post or just story-based post. And middle of the funnel is like when you start to introduce your offer. And then bottom of the funnel is like, hey, if you're looking for a therapist who does alcohol assessments, here's my link to get in touch. So right now, that's a 10-day sequence. And I find that very, very important because before I was asking my audience way too often to do that bottom of the funnel buying process from me. And in that sequence, I was not building people up or warming them up to my offer, if that makes sense. And so it's essentially that rapport building across your social media posts. And when these posts go out, whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, they're all on the same page. So no matter where the customer is in their buying journey with you, these posts are all going to be aligned on that day. So then you're not like haphazardly having a lead come in this day and then, from Facebook and then another lead from Instagram on a different day. Like they really, now obviously they can, then that would not be a problem. But I'm just saying in general, if you know when you're going to have a lot of openings or there's going to be a busy season, like we can adjust that marketing sequence, if you will, so that you're like, hey, I'm really not taking that many clients right now. So we will extend that funnel, that sales sequence. Or if you're like, hey, I really need to get some people in, then we'll shrink it down to maybe like a 5-day process. Because from what I've learned, you really need to have a 3-to-1 ratio or even a 5-to-1 ratio when it comes to nurture, ask. And for me, I was doing less nurture, more ask, and I was not getting results. But now what I love about the RosieBot is that it's automatically taking care of that stuff for me, no matter what text I'm putting into the little Telegram prompt window. The primary goal is for you to get qualified customers, and that's why we're getting really clear on who your audience is, who you're speaking to, their pain points, what they're needing, what results they're looking for. And we're not here for viral results. Now, if a post pops and you go viral, wonderful. But your audience, they don't need to see someone with 10,000 followers in order to know that you can solve their problem. If you are very clear and you're consistently showing your expertise, people will pay attention. And maybe this has happened to you, but I know it's happened to me whenever, especially if I'm looking for a podcast editor, when I come across their LinkedIn profile and it's like, oh, they have these specific things and they're hitting all the marks for me, it's a done deal. And now I found a podcast editor who's wonderful. But anyway, yeah, it's not about going viral. It's just speaking to your audience's pain points. I understand the vulnerability that comes with putting yourself out on social media. And, and just being honest, like it's about remembering your intentions. It's like the reason why you're doing this work, right? Because you're doing this work to help people, to serve people, to help change their lives. So if you can keep that front and center, like that's why you're putting these posts out there, because honestly, you're doing your customers, your future families, your future clients a disservice, because I imagine you do great work, but if they don't know about you, they can't find you. You've already got an established referral network, which is incredible. And so now this is only going to boost your authority and keep you top of mind. When it comes to those guardrails, I know that's super important to you. Now, I want you to know that this is not like a runaway train where it's automatically putting content out there for you without you approving it, seeing it, all of that. And I'm happy to do a separate Loom video walking you through what the actual approval process looks like. It's all in PowerZone, which you do get for free in this package with the RosieBot. So the way it works is, and every client is different. The way I set it up, it's always as a draft. So it never goes out to a public facing post platform thing at all until you go into PowerZone and hit the buttons to actually schedule it. So I have therapists who just leave it on draft. They want to have full control at all times. I've got coaches, on the other hand, who will do drafts for maybe the first couple days, like not even kidding. And then they're like, I'm good to just have them automatically scheduled. That's how that works for them. I have switched mine over to scheduled, and reason being is that in the Telegram return, so you get to see those posts. So it comes right to your phone, and that's what I love about the RosieBot is I don't have to get on my computer. If an idea comes to me, I can just put it in the little Telegram message, and boom, it's taken care of. It's already uploaded, scheduled out. On that return, I can see, okay, this was the Instagram post going out on January 10th. There's maybe a little bit of wording I don't like, or maybe I want a little bit more spacing or another emoji. So I'm going to go into my computer this evening and change that January 10th Instagram post. And that's very easy to do. Once you get the rhythm and you know where the buttons are, it's going to be a breeze. The other thing about the content, especially when we're in these first few days, it's highly important for me to get your feedback. So if you're like, hey, it kind of made me sound a little bit too pompous, I don't want that, then I will update that knowledge base again on the back end so the AI content writer knows, like, hey, don't sound overly pompous. Don't do that. Because it's one of those things that can absolutely be updated and critiqued along the way. And the other part I love is the seasonal awareness. So if you're like, for example, and I do this for coaches a lot, where it's like they know that they have a group program launching March 1st, let's say. So this automation knows, hey, February 15th, like we're getting close to that program launch. So it takes into context everything that's going on. I like, because like this is so funny. I'm so bad about like birthdays or holidays and like the dates. Like all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, it's Valentine's Day. How did that happen? So at least with these posts, there's the seasonal context. So it's like happy St. Patty's Day if you want that. But if there's holidays, obviously, that you don't celebrate, like it's all customizable. And just kind of funny things about me. But anyhow, so you have already identified your niche, which is fantastic. You've already shared that you have time constraints. You have your ideal client. So this is who it works best for. Also, definitely about the quality. We will continue to refine your brand voice too. With the automation, you're already getting a month's worth of content. The way I like to do the post is that you create a post for each day of the month. Now, if you don't send a message to it, that's fine. Here's my opinion of it all, is that eventually you will have so many posts built up that you're ahead. And with the limits, so it allows you to do 30 messages a month. That is going to give you more than enough posts. But if there are like quality concerns, you're like, hey, this one really didn't sound like me, no problem. I am happy to add more credits to your account so that you can continue that cadence of getting content out there and posts out there. Again, in that knowledge base, everything is optimized for each platform. So it knows LinkedIn is more professional, Instagram is more for entertainment, and so different things like that. And we can also rotate those calls to action. So it's not always about buying. Maybe it's follow my profile for more, or you're asking a question to create an engagement post of like, maybe how has your life changed from alcohol recovery? Or maybe if it's more of an attorney thing, like, I don't know, maybe how do you build up your referral network for working with therapists? Something like that. We can come up with those things. 30-day money back guarantee. So next steps would be to get onboarded, and would be super excited to have you and help you reach those goals. Right now, you're up against your audience not knowing about you, and I would love to help you change that. Take care and talk to you later. Bye.